throwing shit at the pilot. Niggas be broken, be sobbing, but still talking shit like they violent.
The NBA playoffs are coming closer and closer by the day, and I am excited, and so should you. To me, this is where the real season starts. The regular season is all for entertainment, but the playoffs are where legends are made. No one cares what you do in the regular season, it's all about what you do in the playoffs. But with the playoffs come favorites, and with favorites come popularity. Popularity that doesn't go to others. I am here to tell you guys about 3 teams to watch out for in the playoffs. Now typically I do top 5s, but since there are 16 teams that will be in the playoffs, 3 of them you can't really say watch out for. I'ma just go with 3 for this video. Also, I won't be using the Spurs because come on man, they're under the radar every year to the point where they're not under the radar anymore, if that makes any sense. However, let me just say, the Spurs have made this season more interesting and not just a 2-team season like we all thought it'd be. But with that being said, let's get this list started. Number 3, the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors, let's face it, have had a down year, but it's definitely not because of their play. For most of the season, they actually held the 2nd seed and were looking like a team that deserved to be in the same sentence as the San Antonio Spurs, the Golden State Warriors, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. But injuries to both DeMar DeRozan and Kyle Lowry, and the adjustment period due to acquiring some major pieces like Serge Ibaka and PJ Tucker, have made their record worse than what they really are. Now, I'm a diehard Celtics fan, but looking at it in an unbiased outlook, I would be terrified if I had to face the Toronto Raptors with Kyle Lowry healthy. Now, I know the Raptors stars have been called underperformers for the past 3 years or so in the playoffs, and rightfully so, having to go to a Game 7 against the Pacers with basically Paul George, and then another Game 7 against a Heat team with an OD Wade and an injured Whiteside, and then, you know, a couple years back they got swept by the Wizards in the first round when they had home court advantage. Damn, that's a lot of examples. But nonetheless, this team I feel like is different. Last year was their come out party. They're trying to make themselves known throughout the league, and they have learned from it, and now they are back with better pieces and more experience. DeMar DeRozan was looking like an MVP candidate early in the season, but has died down a little bit, but even still, this man can put a team on his back like Kobe in 06. Not throughout a whole season, but I have watched games where DeMar just looked simply unstoppable. And then you have Kyle Lowry, who, when healthy, is one of the best point guards in the league, giving you 22 points and 7 assists per night. And then you add the role pieces like Serge Ibaka, who is still one of the best shot blockers in the league and is a decent stretch big. Jonas Valanciunas, an offensive powerhouse and just a solid big on D. PJ Tucker, a great defensive role player that will do his job. Corey Joseph, one of the best backup PGs in the league. I mean, this team is loaded from top to bottom. The only thing holding them back is momentum and health going into the playoffs. But if they can get that, watch out. They are nothing to be messed with. I know a lot of people are going to say that even though last year they took the Cavs to 6 games, it just wasn't that impressive. But to me, people are forgetting that they took the Cavs to 6 games after coming off back-to-back 7-game series against the Hornets and the Heat. And the Cavs had 2 sweeps in a row, and they still took the Cavs to 6 solid games. Now, this Cavs team is definitely better than the Cavs team from last year, at least in my opinion, but so are the Raptors. Watch out, man. Number 2, the Denver Nuggets. Damn, man, I never thought I'd say this, but the Denver Nuggets are definitely a team to watch out for, especially if Kevin Durant's injury is season ending, which, you know, I hope it's not. Now, let me start by saying that I still would favor the Warriors without Durant to win the series, but if you think this was gonna be an easy sweep, I would think twice. Oh, and scratch this entry if the Spurs claim the number 1 seed, by the way, because sorry Denver, it's not happening if the Spurs are your first round matchup. But check this out. We all know what the Warriors' weakness is. The big man position. That's why we were all so scared for them when DeMarcus and Davis came together in New Orleans a couple weeks ago. Now, I'm not saying that Jokic is on the level of DeMarcus Cousins and Anthony Davis, you know, at least just yet, but against the Warriors specifically, he and his team have done pretty well if I say so myself. Now, yes, they have lost to the Warriors 2 out of the 3 times they have met, but they have won one with KD on the team and had a pretty close game in their second meeting. The last time they played was in February when the Nuggets won and no one could stop Jokic. Mind you that Jokic is only in his 2nd year and the best team in the league when healthy is already having trouble against him. He had a triple-double with 17 points, 21 rebounds, and 12 assists, while Denver's other big man, Juancho Hernangomez, had 27 points and 10 rebounds himself. Now looking back at the game, you still can't base Denver's success off of it. I mean, you know, any team can have a hot night. You can't expect 23 plus points from Jameer, Barton, and Hernangomez every game. But what it did show is that they do have what it takes to steal a game. Maybe even 2 from the Warriors. And if it ever goes to a game 6 in Denver, with all that pressure on Steph Curry again, without Kevin Durant, well, you know, anything can happen. If there's one team that really can pull off an upset in the first round, it would be the Nuggets. And it would be against the Golden State Warriors. Number 1, the Utah Jazz. The Utah Jazz to me are the sleeper team of this year as a whole. Is it fair to say that the Jazz are more Spurs-esque than the San Antonio Spurs themselves this year? Nah, man, that's blasphemy, but it is pretty close. Right now, the Jazz are 4th in a top-heavy Western Conference, just below the Rockets, the Warriors, and the Spurs. And I believe they might just be better equipped than any other team in the West besides San Antonio and Golden State, even more than the Rockets. I've said this once and I'll say it again. James Harden to me is the MVP. And the way he got his guys playing is crazy. He does have the perfect cast around him. But the Rockets still rely so much on what Harden does that if you can lock him down, it's over. Or at least it will be extremely difficult for the Rockets. Now that's easier said than done. But if you face a team like the Warriors with Klay Thompson, Iggy, and Durant if he comes back, if you face the Spurs with Greg Popovich's mastery and Kawhi Leonard, you know, that's self-explanatory, it is definitely a possibility for James Harden to be less effective. With the Jazz, however, you got talent across the board, playing as a cohesive unit on both ends, and I don't know about you, but it's easier to game plan for one player than a whole team. Okay, so just talent-wise, they have arguably the best rim protector in the league in Rudy Gobert, alongside a respectable 13 points and 12 rebounds per game. Trust me, that's going to help against the Spurs when they attack the paint, and I believe he's physical enough to be more effective on the offensive end against Gasol and Aldridge. With the Warriors, well, we know about the big man situation for them. It's their Achilles heel. And if guys like Steven Adams and Tristan Thompson was giving them that work last year, just imagine what Rudy Gobert will do. If it ever goes into clutch time, Gordon Hayward has proven ever since his college career that he makes big time plays and is an all-star in the NBA. And then you add solid perimeter role players like Rodney Hood, George Hill, Joe Johnson, Boris Diaw, and even Derek Favors, you got yourself a team that can go 9 men deep without even feeling like they sub out, similar to the Warriors last year. The one thing is they are only 1-3 against the top 3 teams in the West, 0-3 against the Warriors and the Spurs, but they are scheduled to play them more in the next couple of weeks, and I will be watching. They're just a solid team with a great combination of youth, experience, and chemistry, and I think that's definitely something to watch out for. But with that being said, I hope y'all like this video and tell me in the comment section who y'all think is the sleeper team of the playoffs. I know I didn't include teams like the Celtics, the Wizards, and even the Grizzlies, but you know, if I did, I would have basically called like everyone besides the big 4 teams the sleepers. I needed to choose 3. But with that being said, man, I hope y'all enjoyed this video again, and I am out. Peace.